Good morning, good morning. Let's see. Chat filter, all messages. All right, we should be set up. I've been I've been having issues with video quality, and this is one of the solutions that I've come up with, at least for the commuting part of the ministry. Had a couple other ideas of getting a cell phone signal booster, only streaming while I'm in town, which doesn't really work for what I'm trying to do here. I think just hiding the live video, just showing the background, it should be showing part of a picture I took of the land that we live on and the progress that I'm making on the property. If not, I'll try to fix that in another stream. See how I didn't do my hashtags. That's all right. Good morning. I don't have the live video going, only because I don't have, great reception living out here in the woods. It was causing some issues with, people will come in and hang out for a minute, and then, of course, I would be upset if it was poor quality, but hopefully this will work better for driving into town here. If you guys want to leave a comment, maybe where you are or how your day is going so far, let me know if the background, it's not video, but it's a picture. If you can see the picture. I've been having issues with video quality, so I figured make it more of kind of a podcast. I appreciate everybody hopping on, watching, or listening at this point. Just trying to see if anybody else is going to pop in or people going to take off. I do preach the gospel around here. I don't cram it down your throat. I do quote or paraphrase scripture. I do have Bibles in the truck. If you have any Bible verses that you want me to read out at some point here, I can. I don't usually stop until I get them. So the goal of what I'm doing here is to build a community based on, there's two different spots in the book of Acts that reference intentional community. How the early Christians lived. And, I was in this maybe a walk behind machine to work the soil a little bit. not to till it up, but just to form beds. And you know, in the market garden industry, the standard is 30-inch beds. And you know, some people do 10 foot long, some people do 25. I mean, there's market gardens out there that do 100-foot beds. I was moving some books in the kitchen last night, with gardening books that I might dig out, and we can read through those eventually. If you're wondering why there's no video, it may just be my picture, or I tried to upload a thumbnail of a picture of the land that we live on. Turkeys, look at that. We're trying to prove on this 1.7 acres that intentional tiny house community is possible. I've seen it used, or at least the tiny house part of it. The tiny house is used as a stepping stone for people to become productive members of society. But I think there's a next step to that process. Hello, good morning. The next step in that tiny house process, I think, is, I'm getting out there. I apologize for the inconsistent connections. That's why I just hit the live video, because people were kind of concerned about video quality. I still want to stream every day, or multiple times a day. But I think I need to focus into this intentional community idea. This intentional tiny house community idea is because I spent 10 years homeless in town here, and it sucks. It's harsh. It's hard on our bodies. It's hard on our minds. And when I was homeless, if I had been given this opportunity, I would have jumped at the opportunity to go learn how to, grow some food, raise some livestock, chickens, whatever. I'm trying to come at this from a biblical standpoint, but again, I'm not going to try and I'm not going to beat you down with the Bible. I'm not going to use scripture to tell you not to do something. There is some Bible verses out there that say something to the effect of, judge not, for you will be judged by the same manner, something like that. Yeah. But yeah, I'm just trying to advocate for a solution to the problem that a lot of societies in the world are facing, where there's a homelessness crisis. But it also comes along with other things, which are drug addiction, mental health, and I'm not saying that we're going to solve all those problems. I'm just saying that I want to make an effort to solve this problem. Why is this guy going so slow? If you guys are interested in seeing the progress of this community, you can hit the subscribe button. Just trying to advocate for this, trying to build up the community. I'm going to mention, the price, because then that might put people off. But it is another 20. There's other properties nearby that are for sale. More than just an agricultural fair, but that's why I go, is for the agriculture part of it. Go look at the cows, look at the sheep. Prove that the market garden part of it was a good business model. And now he works on with an investor on a 10-acre plot where they make $1 million a year. That's $100,000 an acre. And I'm not in it really for the money. I'm in it to change society in a way that is better for everybody. I'm gonna have to just buy regular food. And the only way we can help people beyond that is to teach them how to grow the food or raise the livestock themselves, or at least have a hand in it. Oh, here we go with the sun. Where do I want to put this visor? There's another property right there out here on the big road. They didn't clear cut it, but they cut a bunch of trees off the property, and pretty much the landing is cleared. So that would make it really easy to have some people living on the property. This like a socialist utopia. The apartments where each department has certain budget hours, which also mean monetary time and financial. You know, the market garden will have its own hourly budget and financial budget, so that, you know, if you put in a certain amount of hours, you'll get compensated for however many hours you put in, and that could be split among, you know, livestock, working in the communal space. Maybe we'll have a thrift store at some point. A thrift store would be really great to get this thing off the ground, but not like every other thrift store. I don't want to charge $5-6. You know, when I go to Goodwill, sometimes there's items that come to local ministries that, you know, need clothes or boots, or there's a couple of local ministries that I'd really like to help support with, you know, the things they need. There's a local ministry that has a Facebook page, and they're always, you know, when they need something, they'll ask, you know, we need gloves or warm boots, and they'll usually give the size, or jackets or anything like that, hats. There's a daytime warming center just down the street from the church I go to, and they're asking for clothing items, boots, shoes, whatever, but they sometimes need to, and we ask people if they're willing to carpool into town to help out some of these ministries. You know, Manna Ministries in Bangor is one of my favorite ministries locally. The Mansion Church, they have a nighttime warming center from, I believe it's November to April. And my wife and I volunteered one whole winter there. Very blessed to be able to live just a couple buildings down from the church. I also volunteered a day a week that same winter down at the daytime warming center that I mentioned. But all the glory goes to God. You know, He put us in the right position at the right time to help those ministries. And now I want to kind of take it a step further with the intentional tiny house community idea. The other aspect of this, the financial side of things, would be that, yeah, we're going to feed ourselves, but anything that we have that might not necessarily get used, if we have a bunch of eggs, we'll ship the eggs down to Mana Ministries. They do a meal ministry Monday through Friday. And as far as I know, they're usually looking for people that are willing to give to the ministry to feed the people on the street. Appreciate everybody riding along. This is a little bit different format than I've done. Only I do this with just no video because I live in rural Maine. I don't have great cell phone reception. Once I'm into town here, Bangor Brewer, I do have better reception. My lunchtime stream may be live video. I think if I'm just sitting still at home, I have okay quality. I may still go the route of a cell phone signal booster just so I can have better streams at home. So what's everybody up to this morning? Drinking some coffee, drinking some tea. Watching the sunrise. Excuse me. If you're not from a northern region, just letting you know that there's still snow on the ground up here, but warmer days are coming. Daytime temps for the foreseeable future look to be above freezing. Nighttime temps might vary a little bit. Another thing I thought about was talking about other areas that have street ministries that, you know, whether it's a warming center, soup kitchen, clothing closet. I'd like to start reaching out to some churches and seeing what kind of ministries they're involved in. Maybe doing this same kind of format where it's not video, it's just audio, kind of like a podcast. But for the two that have been on for a hot minute, thank you. No, I really appreciate that. That helps the algorithm for me. I didn't get my hashtags in because I was in a little bit of a hurry, but it looks like I'm still doing quite well numbers-wise. If you guys do leave a comment, question, prayer request, put it in the comments. I will read it. Maybe where you're from, I'll read it. I do get to the comments. So that's kind of your way of interacting with me that gives me something to read, something to talk about, instead of me just rambling on. Oh, come on, people. I'm going to take the chance here. There we go. Oh, always fighting with this sun in the morning. Ugh. Well, I had a good run to start with. Let's see if anybody else hops on for basically the last half of the ride. Boy, the road's wet. I've got my visor up, but the reflection off the wet road. Oh, even with sunglasses on. So, another reason why I advocate for the intentional tiny house community idea is that, you know, over time I've seen a lot of my Facebook friends, people I know, they'll post this meme about getting all your friends together and going out in the woods and building a community. And then when I tell them what I'm trying to do, it's like they never posted it. Traffic. Come on. Losing time, brother, losing time. Where are all these people coming from? This road's never this busy. Really? Sitting in traffic where I should be doing 35 miles an hour. Unreal. Shouldn't be able to block traffic like that. Yeah, I get that you're turning off of the main road, but it's impeding the flow of traffic. You should have to come down here to another place, turn around, and wait for traffic to clear, not block traffic. Like I said earlier, I'm not looking for, to make a bunch of money, but I am looking to, once the first community is up and running, I'm looking to expand, to have a network of these communities. That each community is going to try and sell their products within 100 miles of the location. So that kind of puts me at, maybe a farm in each county in Maine. Aroostook County is pretty big, so there might be 2 up there at some point. Good morning. Well, it's morning for me. Wherever you are, welcome. I still think YouTube lies to me about the audience number there. It says 0, but I've seen people comment when the number has said 0. So if somebody is watching leave a comment, leave a question, maybe a criticism of what I'm trying to do here. I do like a good debate, a discussion, I guess. Not a debate, conversation. I want to have a conversation with people about, do you see anybody who might look like or act like they're homeless through your daily walk? How do you look on them when you see them? If you happen to go by the local homeless shelter, what's the first thing that pops into your head? Like, oh, those people? Or how can I help? That's kind of my question in the last couple of days that I've kind of come to, is how can I help? There's little picture, what can I do today to help? And then kind of mid picture, like in the next year, how can I help? And then really big picture, how can I leave this world? When I leave this world, how can I leave a way to help people? Let's see if I can set cruise control here. Got a bit of straight road here. If somebody wants to pass me, they can pass me for sure. I'm in no rush. I'm sure they are. Maine Forest and Logging Museum, Leonard's Mills. I think I went there in 8th grade for a field trip, and it's cool. It's like an old-timey lumber mill. I think see you, bye. Yeah, that's one person passed me this morning. We may have another one before we get to the end of the road here. People just don't budget their time very well, obviously. If anybody is watching, or for those who might be watching the replay at some point, I do put out daily devotionals. There's on Patreon. Working our way through the book of Proverbs right now. There should be a link in my channel description for the Patreon page. There's also some materials over there that are free. There's also $1 a month membership. For those who do support the ministry for $1 a month, you get weekly topical studies. The most recent being God's Wisdom is Not Hidden. The one before that was Spiritual Maturity. I think I'm behind on putting out the next one, so I've got to work on that. Boy, you're in a rush this morning, ain't you, brother? Come right by me. Dude, how you doing? Oh, people in such a rush, man. Why are you in such a rush? You late to work? Well, maybe you should have left home earlier. So, this person may leave before I get a chance to explain what I'm doing here. Yep, there it goes. Anyways, yeah, I advocate for intentional tiny house communities that grow their own fruits and vegetables, raise their own livestock, building their own homes, or at least having a hand in doing so. I think this is a really good alternative to the current system that's in place for people trying to get off the streets. I've seen bits and pieces of this idea, not all together in one. You know, there's the tiny house idea where it gives people a stepping stone to get off the streets. I've seen the market garden aspect where people are making $100,000 off small acreage. I've seen the intentional community idea where people are living communally, but it's really expensive to get into. So I kind of want to mash these three major concepts together as an alternative to running the rat race. Like I was saying earlier in the stream, if I had been given this opportunity when I was homeless, I would have jumped at the opportunity. I was watching another brother's stream this morning, and he was encouraging me to continue what I'm doing, even though the ministry is small now. I think God's gonna, if it's God's will, this ministry will grow and grow and grow. There's a lot of different aspects to what I'm trying to do here, supporting other ministries with the products that we create. And it's not just going to be farming, there's going to be crafts that we do, you know, building things and selling those to support the ongoing expansion of the community. I really like that tiny house in there. It's not really facing the right direction. Like our tiny house, 10 by 12, we've got a big window on the south-facing wall, which actually brings in quite a bit of heat. Either that Jeep's early or I'm late, and it's only 7:55. I know that I've got subscribers that I can't even see, so it's possible that those people are still watching from time to time. So not only am I preaching to or advocating to new people, I'm advocating to people I can't even see as well as I can on here. But I'm going to keep doing me, whether I'm streaming to nobody or 100 people or 1,000 people. I have to change the format up a little bit because the reception issue, the cell phone reception. Some days I do stream around lunchtime, around noon Eastern Standard Time. And I think that will be actual video. I'm going to read off some scripture, take some prayer requests. I think the poor video quality that I've been facing in the last week or two, I may have lost some subscribers, but I'm still pushing for 100. I think when I checked this morning, I was at 91. appreciate all the people that stop in for a moment to see what I'm talking about. They may actually be listening to nothing, because there's times where I'm not speaking at all. And I'm not sure everybody is watching at the same timestamp. You know, there's been times where I've been live driving home, and my wife watches when she has decent cell phone reception at the house, and she may be watching it 20 minutes behind what I'm actually streaming. I'll pull in a driveway, and to her it'll look like I'm still 20 minutes away, and that could just be that she's not watching it live, because that can happen. People could be watching 20 minutes ago. Ow. Most mornings at this point I'm going to use the bathroom. I probably will stop anyways, but if anybody is watching, or if you're watching the replay, I encourage you to, if you don't have a Bible, get a Bible. Most churches will give you a Bible for free. But read the book of Psalms, chapter 37, verse 7. If you don't have a Bible, or when I stop up here at my bathroom break here, I will read that verse, maybe two. Something that it doesn't get under my skin. It's just incorrect doctrine when people are trying to tell other people, believers or non-believers, that we're not supposed to eat pork, or we're not supposed to eat anything that's considered unclean. But Jesus himself taught that it's not what goes in a man's mouth that defiles him. It's what comes out of his mouth and out of his heart, the way he treats people. That is what defiles him. There's other people, the same type of people that push the food laws, are the same type of people that push the 10 Commandments. Well, the 10 Commandments were condensed by Jesus Christ into the twofold command. Love God with all your heart, soul, strength, and love your neighbor. Yeah. Oh, bathroom break. People get so butthurt when I take my time pulling into a parking lot here. So before I go in and use the bathroom, I'm going to read Psalm 37:7. 37. Let's do 37:7 and 8. Rest in the Lord and wait patiently for him. Do not fret because of him who prospers in his way, because of the man who brings wicked schemes to pass. Cease from anger and forsake wrath. Do not fret, it only causes harm. I shall return. Ah, good thing I got steel toe boots on. Boy, traffic is awful. Another day. Going to do oil changes, change some tires maybe. Maybe work on some snow blowers this afternoon. We're getting down to the time of year where we don't really have a whole lot of snowstorms left. Pretty soon we'll be working on lawnmowers and weed whackers and changing over studded snow tires to regular tires. Can't quite remember the date where people are required to swap them over. Man, it seemed like just last week, gas prices were almost down to $2 a gallon. I think I paid $2.25 a gallon, and now it's back up to like $2.80, $2.90 a gallon, depends on where you go. Alright, we're almost done, folks. Oh, didn't see that car. Well, I pray that everybody that was on has a blessed day. Around noontime, I'm going to go live again. We're going to be reading some scripture, I think. I'll be interested to see what the numbers look like for this live, since I've changed up the format a little bit. Gotta reposition here. There we go. I will be back on in about 3.5 hours.